Hey guys, Marsing here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so it seems like there is some interesting news updates over on the JP side of Dokkan. Shout out to Minato for posting these screenshots. I haven't logged into my JP account, so it's good to have these up on the screen. And there's a couple of very interesting things going on in here. So this first one is ZENI exchange lineup updated in the barbershop. So basically there's that part of the barbershop that you can go into where you can get stuff with ZENI, and there are very few things in there that are honestly worth getting. I know back in the day when the account was new, people are always after the old Gregory medals and things like that, but other than that there's not really much available in there. I'm just opening it up in my game now, and you've got, like, apart from things like the random medals to get the barbershop unit EZAs, which you can only buy one of per day, we've got Senzu Bean, the Kami Lookout training location, Gregory medals, Bubbles medals, and Dr. Gero medals. And you can only buy it once per day, and you get like 5 medals. So pretty terrible. A lot of people, if you are like me and you used to grind out a lot of the EZAs, I'm basically always at ZENI cap and have a ton of ZENI statues all the time. So for me, I'm pretty excited about the possibility of actually having some decent stuff to spend my ZENI on. So that's pretty interesting. And then when we come down here, obviously, I don't know if this is new quests or just means missions for new quests, but new Supreme Kai trial missions is this middle one here. So this is actually quite exciting, because a little while ago I made a post asking you guys about your biggest mistakes or regrets that you've made in your Dokkan journey, stuff that people have done by accident, you know, like feeding in dupes for SA level and stuff like that, all these different things. And one of the things that a lot of people had in common that I did as well was the Supreme Kai stones that you got from doing the Supreme Kai trials. Once you'd gotten all the stuff related to the LR Vegito Blue process, there was a couple of other things you could get, including box space and stamina upgrades. But there was also, if I remember rightly, Kais in there. And back in the day, again, when my account was young and Kais were hard to get hold of, I got some Kais with my Supreme Kai stones, which meant, because there were only a limited amount, I still now have sat in my barbershop under the Supreme Kai Stone section, I still have 8 of the maximum stamina upgrades available, but there are no more Kai stones. So hopefully what this means is these new rewards are going to be bringing not only more of those stones, but then obviously that should lead to them upgrading the shop, and more things will potentially be available to spend them on. Because obviously if you did buy all of the stamina upgrades and stuff, there's not really going to be much worth left in there to buy. So this is really exciting, and hopefully that is the case, because I would like to get those extra staminas now that I'm at max rank. My total max stamina at the moment is 352. So if I can pick up those extra 8 when this update comes to global, that will put me at 360, which is a nice round number, definitely more aesthetically pleasing. But the main thing, and probably what the title and the thumbnail of the video is going to focus on, is the fact that Int BOUJACK's EZA has been announced. So this is one that people have been waiting for quite a long time. When the STR BOUJACK released, even though this guy was kind of old at the time, he was still somewhat relevant. Like, he was still actually usable, which is kind of crazy. So if we go and take a look over at his kit, so Full Power BOUJACK and the Galactic Warriors is Full Power BOUJACK brackets Galactic Warrior. This is obviously important because it means he is a uniquely named unit, which means you can link him up with any other BOUJACKs. And we've never had an actual good standalone Full Power BOUJACK. Maybe the AGL one will get an EZA at some point and actually be good, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But so this guy has a mono in leader skill, gives more to extreme, but does give a sub lead to super. I feel like these days you're not using any of these guys for leaders unless it's in like Battlefield or something to run the mono teams. But let's see, so his 12 key super is colossal damage to the enemy and greatly lowers defense. His 18 key is mega colossal damage to the enemy and raises extreme class allies to attack by 40% for 1 turn, which is a significant amount, right? If they do something with this guy's EZA to make him runnable in slot 1, this buff is going to be insane. And even if you can't run him in slot 1 and you're running him on main rotation in slot 2, just that buff that he gives to the unit in slot 3 is a pretty significant amount. Like 40%, I mean, we're literally running support units that give that exact buff. So that is definitely very good. And then when we look at his passive, attack and defense 80%, additional attack boost up to 80%, the more HP remaining, the greater the boost, and then defense boost up to 70, the less HP remaining, the greater the boost. So this is the ideal way for these kind of passives to be designed. This is exactly the way you want the stat balancing to go, right? When you're on low HP, you have more defense, which is exactly what you want in those situations. Because they're all calculated at the start of the turn, so that means you can heal, and then he still has the massive defense boost. So, as just a base skeleton of a kit, like, he's already, you can see why he kind of lasted as long as he did. The only downfall, of course, and why he did age out is just because these numbers are so low. Like, obviously it's impossible to be on 0% HP, but even if you were, he's only getting 150% attack and defense. And then he doesn't have any defense raising in his super attacks at all. He does have big bad bosses. And then outside of other BOUJACK units, like he has Thirst for Conquest. Legendary Power, I guess, for some of the other LRs. Shattering the Limit is, you know, it is what it is. But he has links like Revival, Galactic Warriors, and the Hera Clan, which are the very specific BOUJACK links. Like, he's not going to be super versatile on teams with these other extreme units. But he is on Resurrected Warriors, Movie Bosses, Full Power, Time Travelers, Joined Forces, Terrifying Conquerors, Space Traveling Warriors, Storied Figures, Legendary Existence. I believe that means he is on Captain Ginyu's 200% lead. I'm just bringing up my 200% leaders here so I can double check Ginyu. He's not on Bardock's because he's on Storied Figures, but Bardock's extra 30% is for Pure Saiyans. But yeah, Ginyu is Terrifying Conquerors and then 30% to Space Traveling Warriors. So this guy does have a 200% team already. He'll be on LR Cooler's team, but only the 170 under Terrifying Conquerors. It'll be interesting to see with the release of his EZA whether STR BOUJACK is still like somewhat usable, because in his base form he's a support unit that raises defense on super. Imagine if they actually really like cracked this guy and just made this extreme class allies attack and defense 40% for one turn on super. I don't think that they will do that, but I feel like that would be insane, right? So the easiest way they can make this guy good, obviously we've got to pump up these start of turn stats, but look how bare bones like his kit is, right? We beef up his start of turn attack and defense, then we can give the additional boost. This can easily go up to 100 or more because it's based on your current stats at the time anyway, so you're never going to get both of them at full anyway. So these can be juiced up a little bit, definitely. And then his super attack effects, obviously for an LR, it's very easy to say, like, oh, you know, they should be stacking defense or whatever. I do like it when the LR has, like, raises defense, even if it's only for one turn, on their 12 key super, because then it does add a lot of benefit to getting an additional super with them. So that is pretty good. I would like to see that. Because he has that buff for the allies on his 18 key super, I don't know if maybe they will do anything too crazy. Maybe raises defense for one turn. Like, obviously he doesn't need to have, like, raises attack for one turn or anything, because I'm fairly sure that buff is calculated into his attack stat as well. And then obviously if he gets an additional, he's given himself that 40% buff with his 18 key super. So if they made his 12 key super something like raises attack and defense for one turn, that would actually be crazy, because he'll have just gotten the 40% buff from his 18 key super, and then he's doing an additional where he's raising his attack again as well as raising his defense. So I think this guy has potential to be really good. I think throwing some key into his passive is the big thing, because when using him with the STR BOUJACK, when STR BOUJACK released, one thing that I did notice is if you transform the STR BOUJACK to get the most out of him, then obviously he loses his support role, and so then this guy struggles a little bit to get key, because Hera Clan gives key, and then he has what? Shattering the Limit, which STR BOUJACK doesn't have. Does STR BOUJACK have Revival? I think he might do. But that's 4 key for a unit that has no key in his passive. So that means you'd be at 10 key at the start of the turn. That means you need to get 8 key with him in order to get his 18 key super, unless you have other support units on the rotation. So definitely giving him some key in his passive I think would be very, very good. But you let me know what you guys think down below. What are you expecting to see from Int LR BOUJACK's EZA? I'll do a team building guide for it, as I always do, even though it's the JP one. I'll do a team building guide, because half the time when these units eventually come to global, we have more units available, so I have to redo the team building guide anyway. But let me know, out of all of these things mentioned here in the news, what are you the most excited about? I'm sure somebody out there maybe doesn't have BOUJACK and is very excited to finally be able to pick up those extra stamina boosts or something like that. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.